Hey quilters, I'm about to start working on a quilt that the top is entirely made of layer cake squares, and I have two layer cakes here. These are both from Always. This is a new fabric line by Belle from Seam Sew Me for Bentertex, and this fabric is so pretty. I'm super excited to start working with it. But for this pattern that I am using, you will need to have your fabrics divided into high volumes and low volumes. So a simple explanation of high volumes and low volumes would be light fabric versus darker fabric. That's a simple explanation, but you get a little bit more into it than that. So you could also think of it as your neutrals like whites and creams versus darker fabrics, or what you're going to use for your background versus what you're going to use for the main part, the part that you want to pop. So I have these divided out. Here we have my high volumes and my low volumes, and another thing to think about with those is that they are relative. So if I look at, say, this fabric right here compared to this one would be the low volume. But when you compare it to a beige, then this one would be the high volume. And for this particular pattern, I am looking at wanting 40 high volumes and 32 low volumes. So luckily with this layer cake, I had exactly 40 that I, felt pretty comfortable considering high volumes. And then I'll pick my 32 low volumes from what's left. But if it didn't divide out easily like that, and some layer cakes don't, you can find fabrics that you would consider medium and have those go either way depending on what you need. So if I didn't have enough high volumes, I would feel pretty comfortable using one of these four here as high volume if I needed to, just because they have big obvious prints. And if I did not have enough low volumes, I could probably get away with moving one of these two down into the low volumes. And the medium tones make it kind of look cool in your quilt, just the different values in the quilt. And another thing you can think of as far as low volume and high volume is contrast. So let's say we had green and purple, and I had a bunch of green fabrics and a bunch of purple fabrics. If they were both dark green and dark purple, neither one of those would, or even bright green, bright purple, neither one of those would really be considered low volumes, but they contrast enough that you could pick one of them as the background and one of them as the foreground and still have your design pop.